Good morning, everybody. Welcome to AndersMillknits podcast, episode 15, and I'm your host, Emily. And we have a dog wandering around over there. I'll go get him in just a second. But you can find me. I've started a new process, so I'm gonna go with that. Let's see. You can find me on Ravelry as AKA Millie. On Instagram is AKA Millie907, and the blog, wait for it guys, AndersMillknits.wordpress.com. Yes! Finally! 15 episodes in, I got it right. You know why? Because I wrote it down. I'm gonna start, see, I'm already going off script. As of this morning, I have started a bullet journal. I'm just doing the very plain version at the moment, the original version. So there's my April with the days and that, and then the important events page. Then we've got today with the to-do lists, and then the asterisks by the ones that are important. And then, of course, the open dot to indicate I have an appointment at 1. Then the asterisk for the blog post, I've got all my show notes written down in bullet journal style. So I don't have the particulars of like each project down, but I do have down that is the project, and hopefully my memory will be jogged enough to know what the rest of the details are. So, sorry, I just had to pop my neck. Been very stressful. So, now that I've gone off script already, why don't I try and get Watson over here so you guys can check in on him. Hey, Watson, you want to come see Mama? Do ya? You don't really, do ya? You're really comfy. Yeah. Well, how about instead I insert a series of videos for you regarding Watson here. And just to premise it, Watson yesterday had surgery on his eye, and he also got his teeth cleaned while he was under. He had a lump in his lower lid, and it was actually, I don't know how much detail you want, but for the past couple months it's been oozing things. And the doctors were concerned at first that it could be cancer, but they wanted to try alternative, they were like, maybe it's just a lesion. And so we tried for about 3 months to heal it with medication on his eye. So I put that on there daily, and I had to sit there and squeeze out stuff every single day and hurt him. But finally, last week, they just said, you know what, we think it could be cancer, we have to remove it. And I was like, you know what, whatever we have to do, I just want my dog to be healthy. And so we arranged for him to go in yesterday, and I was a nervous wreck all day. And I did a few, I think I pretty much kept up on it, of videos throughout the day of the progress, and so I'll insert those here for you guys so you can see how things went. Today he's doing much better. He scarfed down his morning meal, which I only gave him about half of. I'm monitoring him. He hasn't seemed to have an upset stomach or anything like that. He's been in a lot of pain and whining a lot, but actually this morning he's only whined a little bit, but he keeps going like this with his eye. He's doing it right now. I can see him. He's over on the couch. Oh, well, yeah, welcome to my current setup by the fireplace, because I'm just trying everything out. But anyway, he's whining, but he doesn't seem to have an upset stomach. He hasn't thrown up. I've been monitoring really well. Last night, I didn't knit last night. I just lay on the couch with him and just snuggled him and, you know, hoped. Oh, he's having a hard time with that cone. He's having a really hard time. But he's getting it. Anyway, so here's the videos. And then I'll see you guys back here. Hey everybody, this is Emily and Watson coming to you this morning. I just wanted to post. I have Watson's toy right here, so he will look. Watson's going in for surgery this morning. He's going in this morning. Go figure, this morning of all mornings. He's not really, some mornings he's really, really hungry and he'll eat breakfast. But most mornings he won't actually even eat anything until later in the day, like around noonish. But go figure that the morning that he's not allowed to have any food at all, he wants everything. So like when I was eating my breakfast earlier, what are you doing, mister? When I was eating my breakfast earlier, he was... I had to do it. You see your toy? When I was eating my breakfast earlier, he was begging and begging me. Huh, weren't you? But I don't know who's more nervous, Watson or me. But I'm struggling a little bit. I don't like the idea of him going in for surgery at all. But it really needs to happen. Like I said, we want him to be happy. So Watson's gonna go in, and I'm gonna try my hardest just to focus on work today so I'm not thinking about what's happening to him. And he's also gonna get his teeth cleaned. Yay! So maybe his bad breath will be cleared up for a little while. But okay, so he's a wiggly little buster. So we'll just keep you guys informed as the day goes on and let you know how he's doing. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Wow, I've never seen a dog so eager to go get surgery. All right, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Okay. So he's shaking. He's very nervous now that we're inside the vet office. It'll be okay. Can you see him shaking? Yeah, okay. Well, Watson's has had his surgery. He's very subdued right now. Poor guy, his eye looks terrible. I don't know if you guys can see that. There. Yeah. It's pretty bad and swollen. But they removed the mask and he appears to be doing well. We've got some eye drops to put on him over the next, what, 10 days? 14 days? And some pain medication for the next week. And hopefully he'll be okay. And we're just going to take him home and take care of him tonight. And tomorrow. And all the rest of our lives. Right? Okay. Here we go. Okay. So you got to see how he's doing. So that was yesterday and a good portion of this morning. I'm trying to keep up with work at the same time. Yesterday, to keep my mind off of things, I did a lot of project writing up, so that was good. So what else has been happening in the last set as we review some notes? So Watson's had surgery. I'm having surgery on Monday. It's just a colonoscopy. We're trying to determine whether or not I have Crohn's disease. You know, so I'll let you know about, okay, so Amy Beth of the Fat Squirrel Speaks, she always goes into this whole portion called shenanigans. And I feel like I have, sorry, there's a leaf blowing in the wind right outside my window, which, by the way, if you can hear the wind, we're having a pretty good windstorm going on outside. The lights have flickered quite frequently. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose power at some point, which is fine. Most of the things that I use throughout the day can be done on battery. I don't really need lights. Sorry, I keep on having water burps. You wanted to know that. But anyway, what I was saying is shenanigans for Emily this week. So I had planned on giving an all-staff training at one of the facilities that I visit out in Tillamook, which is a 2.5-hour drive away from Wilsonville, where I live, and on a good day. If I get in traffic, it could be upwards of 3 to 3.5. And anyway, so I was giving a training on validation communication. And I designed this training. It took me about 6 hours or more to design. That's just me writing up my notes. That's not me researching it and kind of just jotting down things as I think of them throughout the last couple of weeks. That's me condensing it all and writing out the actual training. So I was going to give that to them, and I had it in all of my calendars. I have a work phone and a private phone, and I had it in both calendars and on my computer calendar that I was giving the training on the 4th, which was Tuesday. So I got up super early. I think I got up at 4:30, hit the road by no later than 6:30. No, I hit the road at 6 because I was out there by 8:30. And I get out there. The training's supposed to take place at 9, and I wanted to get out there to be able to copy off my handouts and prep. And the staff are like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "What do you mean? It's the all-staff training. Where is everybody?" And they're like, "Oh, well, that's tomorrow, the 5th. For one moment, I was so incredibly frustrated with myself, like angry, viscerally angry at myself, because I couldn't, I in my head, that verbiage of you couldn't even write down keep a simple date straight in your head, in your calendars. And so that immediate negative thought came in, and I walked outside, took a deep breath, and I gave myself the facts of the matter, and I what I call fact checked. And the fact of the matter is that I'm a little overwhelmed right now with all of my caseload. I have a very large caseload right now, and keeping it all straight, and I'm all over the place. Like I've told you guys, I'm in Scappoose, St. Helens, Astoria, Warrington, Seaside, Tillamook, Hillsborough, Forest Grove, Vernonia, Tigard, Wilsonville. So what is that, 11 cities? And that's just off the top of my head. And I was in Salem for a short while, seeing clients, and I did talk to my boss. We had a long talk about this last week, and she recognizes that I have a very large caseload, and so we're working on ways to help streamline that. But one of the ways is that I am going, that's why I started a bullet journal. Now, I haven't started the bullet journal portion of work, and that part I will never share, because obviously, but you know, that part has, the reason why I like bullet journals is because they're vague. You're rapid listing. And with my job, I cannot actually write anything down in detail, because if I lose anything, or if I misplace, or just set something just on my kitchen counter, and it has any details, any identifying details, I could be in so much trouble. So my life, while it deals in details, it all has to be up here. So I need to find a way to create a list, and that's why I'm testing it out today with the podcast, to create a list where we do rapid fire listing, and those listings will jog my memory for the details. That's what I'm hoping. And so that's one of the ways that I am approaching this from now on, starting literally today, Friday the 7th of April. So I talked to myself about that when I was out in the parking lot taking some deep breaths, and I was like, you know what though? Today's going to be a good day. Normally when I come out to Tillamook, I feel like I don't have enough time to see all of my clients. I have about 12 clients out there, and I never seem to reach them all. Oh, Neawana. I'm out at Neawana too. And that's in the Tillamook area, so I usually go there. That's 45 minutes from Tillamook. So whenever I go to Tillamook, I then go another 45 minutes to another place. But I love my job, so don't get me wrong. When I say it's not because I'm frustrated. It's not because I don't love it, because I do love it. But it's me going, how to keep all this straight. That's Emily's signal for that. So so I told myself this is going to be awesome. I can go over and see my case managers who I haven't been able to see face to face, all of them at once in a very long time. So I just dropped in on them, even because I'd prearranged that I was going to drop in that day anyway. So I just did it a little early. And then I got 2 new assessments done. I visited with every single one of my clients in that area that day. And I made it home still by about, I think I was home by 8:30 that night. So, see, that's my typical day when I'm not working from actual home. But it felt so good to see all my clients. And lucky for me, this particular facility doesn't just do a once a month all staff training. It actually does twice a month. So they're actually having another one on the 20th, which is perfect. So, so we arranged for me to come out on the 20th, and I put it in my calendar, and then I showed them I have it on the 20th, and we all made a joke about it. They're such lovely people. So I will be out there on the 20th for the all-staff training, and that will also be really good because, again, I'll be out there super early. So after I do the training, I should have enough time to go and visit all my clients again. So it's awesome. So that was my shenanigan of the mixed up day. Then let's see, what else have I been up to? I've been up to a lot of walks, because we've been so blessed. While there's still been a fair amount of rain, not a lot, but a fair amount, there's also been significant breaks in the weather of sunshine. And so yesterday, for instance, even though I didn't get a walk yesterday because of Watson, which, whatever. In the morning time, it was pouring down rain, but by the time I went and picked up Watson at about 4-ish, the sun had broken through, and it would have been a perfect opportunity if he was healthy enough to go for another walk. And today we've got, I don't know, I just love windstorms. There's something about that buffering, you know? Speaking of, so this morning I was lying in bed with Watson, just trying to, you know, he was whining a little bit because he's in so much pain. Sorry, I'm blowing out a bunch. I don't know if I should pull this shade down a little bit. How's that? Is that better? Yeah. But then I don't get a view. Darn. So Watson this morning was in a lot of pain, and so I was just lying in bed with him. And I had my window open. I was listening to the wind, and all of a sudden I heard banging, a lot of banging and a lot of shouting. And my husband came into the bedroom. He was getting ready for work, and he's like, "What is that? That's really disrespectful at this time of the morning. You know, quiet time is until 8." So I was like, "Wait a minute, let's listen." And then all of a sudden I heard my name, and then the words "help me." And I was like, "Is that our neighbor calling for our help?" And so we went out on our back porch, and I was like, I think she might be stuck on her back porch. We went on our back porch, and I leaned over the edge to tried to see into hers, and I was calling her name, and I was like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "I'm stuck on my back porch. The wind blew my door shut." Luckily, her front door was unlocked, so I came charging through the front door, and I tried my hardest to get that back door open, but I couldn't. I mean, it was stuck. So then I had to go back over and get my husband, who, you know, it was in a hurry to get to work, but he came over. This was annoying. So even with my neighbor and me, I was pulling on the door and she was pushing on the other side, and we're pretty strong women. We couldn't get the door open. And she's stuck out there. She's in her PJs. And she's freezing her buns off. And so I go over to get my husband, and he comes over. And I swear to you, 2 jerks on the door handle, and it was open. I was like, are you kidding me? 2 women who are super strong can't open that door. But my husband, who can easily pick me up and carry me around, he does that, you know, when we're like goofing around and stuff. It was like opening a can of pickles for him. It was so funny. But But, you know, my neighbor, she was so grateful. She was freaking out because her husband had already gone to work, and she didn't even know if we were still home because, you know, my schedule varies so much. She never knows if I'm home, and my husband is usually gone by that time. And so she was like, I'm going to be stuck out here, and my poor dog and cat are in there, and they don't have me to take care of them. I felt so bad for her. So I hugged her, and we talked about it, and she calmed down a bit, and so that was our morning. So, you know, that's what the past couple of weeks have been like. And in addition to that, I got a hankering for my nuts. Let's rephrase this. I got a hankering for my homemade, home-cooked almonds. I tried a new recipe when my local friend was getting married a couple weeks back, or maybe even a month ago. I don't know now. I had a bunch of leftover walnuts after I made the Russian tea cakes, and so I was just like, well, I've never tried baking walnuts before, outside of just the normal roasting for, you know, baking. So I tried, I just made something up. I think I used honey and some, not powdered sugar, some brown sugar, and teensy bit of cayenne for a little bit of kick, you know? People always look at you funny. Oh, and salt, obviously. People look at you funny when you say you put cayenne in, and I'm like, I'm telling you, it does the trick. It gives it just a little bit of a kick through that sweetness. So I did that, and that was a huge, that went off with a huge bang. You know, everybody loved it, and you know, walnuts aren't my favorite nut. Almonds are my favorite, and my sister taught me years ago how to cook almonds at home, and I've always done it ever since. I do not like to buy almonds pre-cooked, like pre-made at the grocery store. I like to do that on my own. So I always buy the raw almonds, and I always have a large jar around of raw almonds, so whenever I get the inkling, I just make myself a small batch, because a small batch goes a pretty long way. In fact, why don't I put this on hold and I'll go get my jar of home-cooked almonds. 1 second. Okay. Ow, sorry. I think I've got a headache now. I don't know why. Huh. So I like these beautiful jars. Again, my sister taught me how to use, my sister introduced me, not taught me how, to oh, that smells so good, of these beautiful jars. Here, I'll put some out here because I don't want to get my hands oils all over them, since I'm not going to eat them right now. Because preparing for a colonoscopy, I cannot have any nuts as of 5 days prior. So, or seeds. So these are just my salted almonds, and I'll put the recipe for this on the blog for today. I've also posted it on Instagram, so if you go to Instagram and you see my picture with my blue jar and my almonds, you'll have the recipe right there. It's so simple. My sister likes to brine her almonds, and the brining process is really simple. I put the recipe on there as well for brining. But she likes to brine her her almonds overnight, because she really likes that salt to seep into the fibers of the almond. Whereas I'm too impatient for that. So I literally brine it for maybe 20 minutes, sometimes a half an hour. And then I'll just drain them and put them on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven. And what is it at? 350 or 325? 325, I believe. No, I think I put it at 350 for about 20 minutes as well. Halfway through, I usually I take the pan and I shake it, and maybe even try to turn some of them over. Usually when these come out of the oven, okay, I kind of got almonds all over the place, because see, this is Emily being impatient. It's okay. My house is clean. Oh, that's a good example, actually. Can't even see me. So here's a good example right here of how an almond might look after the brining process and coming out of the oven. See how that's caked on with some salt? There. So that's too much salt, isn't it? But there's an easy way to take the salt off. And you know those wire mesh strainers? Not like spaghetti strainers, but the ones that are even more fine than that. They usually have a handle that you can hold. I think they use it in some kind of cooking method with vegetables. I don't know. I use it for my almonds. So I just put that in there, and then I cover it usually with a plate, and I shake. And that shaking process, sometimes you don't even have to do it that hard. You don't even have to maybe even put a plate over it. You can just shake it around like that, and the salt will just come out. Do it over your sink because it's going to get messy. Try not to have anything in your sink. Try to have an empty sink because it will get messy, all that salt coming out. And just do it until you like what you see, or you like what you taste. Taste along the way, because it is to your preference. So, oh look, see, even that shaking just a little bit, I got some more salt on the bottom. So you can do that too. But that's my almonds that I made this last week. And I think that's about it as far as reviewing notes. However, we do have a prize to give out. Let me get back to my notes for today. We have the winner of the March Double Dip Cal, and I'm so excited because another new person won. I did the random number generator before I podcasted today, and so that came up. I did the numbers number 2 through 42. Now, if you remember what this is you list, you know, the current cows that you may be participating in wherever they are. It could be knitting, it could be crochet, spinning, sewing, whatever cow is going on that you're participating in, post it in that thread. You have to have work done on whatever project you're working on for that other cow. You don't have to have it finished, you just have to show progress. And the details of that cow and a link to it so that we can also participate in it and maybe win a prize as well. And you're entered to win a prize. And this last month, we had, oh, it's so wonderful. I so want to knit with mine. Oh, so from Abundant Earth Fiber, she has a spinning mill up in Washington. And so this is her Sacred Ground base. It's the 100% domestic merino, 360 yards. And it's this, oh my gosh, guys. It's so plump and beautiful and squishy. I've literally never felt anything like this. You know what this reminds me of? It actually reminds me of Targhee. And I love Targhee. Oh my gosh, do I love Targhee. Targhee has this plumpness and this sturdiness, but while at the same time being luscious. Does that make sense? That this merino has as well. So the winner of this, I cannot say your Ravelry name, so I'm going to spell it. And I'm going to put it right down here. S-D-U-Y-K-A. And that's Sherry, and you're from Texas. So congratulations! You won! So if you'll PM me in Ravelry and send me your address, I will get this out to you. Congratulations! I'm so excited. We're getting new people participating, you know, in the Double Dip Cal, and I really want to encourage you wherever you are. I saw at least 2 new people participating in the Cal, and the more people participate, the more I'm excited to have this Cal, because, you know, if the same people win and there's only 1 or 2 people posting in the Cal every month, I was kind of almost thinking, what's the point of me doing it? Because I can't post in there because I can't win, or I could post in there, but I just can't win. So keep it up, guys, because the more people we have in there, the more likely it is that I'll continue. Well, no, I want to continue this Double Dip Cal. We've done it for at least 6 months now, and I want to continue doing that. So now we have a new thread open for April, and I've had this in my stash for quite a while, and I've never knit it. And it's a very Easter themed sock yarn, and so I wanted to do it for this month. I don't think she's dying anymore. So this is called Easter Surprise. It's got these beautiful yellows, mauves, and blues in there. So it's by Great Lakes Hand Dyed. And this is called Easter Surprise. This is her awesome sock, 100% merino. Is that what that says? No, okay. So 460 yards, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. So this, oh my gosh, I would love, love, love to see somebody knit socks out of this and wear them. Oh, so whoever knits socks out of this, or just whatever you knit from this, whoever wins this month, please show me what you knit, because I am dying to know how this knits up. So, I don't think she's dying anymore. I tried my hardest to find her, Great Lakes hand-dyed, on the internet, in the webs, and I couldn't. So I don't know that she's dying anymore. I found things like her, and I was getting really confused, but I don't think I really found that lady who used to do it. I don't know how old that yarn is, but it's not terribly old. I think it's only like 2 or 3 years old. But you know, I have to pare down my sock stash. So, okay. Well, why don't we move on to case notes, shall we? So, disclaimer, mom, grandma, and all of my sisters and sisters-in-law. If you are watching this podcast, you must stop immediately. I don't think you watch this podcast, but if you do, stop. I love you, but the rest of this podcast is all about you and about a surprise that I've been working on very diligently for you, so please do not move forward with this. You can watch the next episode whenever that comes out, but don't watch this one. Thanks. So, what do I have done? Well, guys, I kind of gone on a major sock knitting kick. Well, I'm always on a sock knitting kick. You know what? The funny thing is sometimes I go in these stages where I absolutely abhor knitting socks, and other times I'm just like, I can't not knit them! I don't care what else I have on the needles, I only want to knit them. I don't understand it. But, let's see what I've got done, shall we? We've got one deep distraction done. We've got the whole pair done. We've got a third done. And we've got a fourth. Oh, that's all mixed up there. We've got a fourth done. So, we have 4. Hold on, guys. so that can maybe be the cover of today's podcast. So this is me. So okay, so we had one pair done completely, and I was somewhere on this one, or did I have 3 done the last time? I might have. Okay, so where was I? My camera shut off on me on my iPhone because I ran out of storage space. So I had to download all the information off of my phone onto my computer and then delete a whole bunch more just so that I could continue recording today. So while I was doing that, I looked it up, and of the Deep Distraction colorway socks, or the Mindless Madrona socks that I started in February, I had knit a complete pair, and then I had knit down to the heel area of a third, and so I needed to put in the heel and knit an entire third, you know, the rest of the third sock. And then after that, I needed to, and that when I was doing on my 9-inch circulars, 60 stitches around on ones, US size ones, and I don't like it. I hold my needles differently than is appropriate, I think, for 9-inch. And I've been playing around with it a little bit. I might have a new technique I can try for the future if I ever want to try it again. I don't know at this point. So I needed to knit a whole 4th one. So I did. And at this point, for the 3rd and the 4th socks, I didn't care if I matched up my stripes at all, because I just wanted to get them. I just wanted to get 4 socks out. And I did. So I did the second one on my normal 2 16-inch circulars, US size 1, 60 stitches around, and I did everything as normal. I counted how many stripes in each before the heel, and so I did that. And the heel, I don't remember what it's done in. I'm sorry, I'll put it right down here. Can't remember because I'm also using it on my heart mitts, which I did not work on at all. And then I knit the whole rest of it and the toe. I was just busting these out. And I was getting really nervous because it was getting towards the end and I was counting my color stripes and I was like, okay, I think I have enough with maybe 2 stripe repeats left over of the yarn. No, guys, I got it done. This is all I have left. But I got 4 socks out of 1 skein. Well, and, you know, the heels and toes. But heels and toes, come on. So, I literally have, what is this, like 5 yards? 5 yards, maybe? It's beautiful. See the sparkle? Yeah. Fiber Nymph Dye Works, you have my heart. I've always loved her yarn and I've coveted it. Whenever I buy any yarn from her, it goes straight into my stash and I try to make myself knit with it, but I love it so much and I don't want it to go to a project that might not be used as much. And so I've always been kind of but then I've been thinking about my stash and I'm like, you know what? As much as I love the artwork that is the skein of yarn, it doesn't bring me much. I mean, it brings me joy to look at it, but it brings me more joy to knit with it, to be enjoying it, and to be reveling in the feel of it, and to know that it's going to my loved ones especially. So I have four socks done, or 2 pairs, and these are going to my sisters, my older sister Amy and my younger sister Kelsey for Mother's Day. They're each getting a pair, and they very much deserve it. Then I had, as you well know, I had one of my Alpine Ridge socks, which my project name is Ridgeline. The Alpine Ridge socks is a design by me. It's a free download on Ravelry. And I knit the first sock, and then I hadn't even cast on the second sock when we last podcasted, when we last talked. But I cast it on, and I finished it last weekend as well. And I just busted these things out. Now, I will say that that amount of knitting last weekend had my arm kind of numb a little bit. Stress strain, I want to call it, maybe. So I rested on Monday, I think it was. Did I rest on Monday? I might have. I might not. You know what? I might not have rested. I don't know. I don't think I took a day off. Because I'm so excited. Because not only do I have all of these done, so okay, so these are done on Lorna's laces. Again, my 60 stitches around, 2 16-inch circulars, and I did this. All of these are for size 8.5 women's, because all of my mother has a slightly smaller foot, but my sisters and my grandmother and I all wear the same size, which makes it so easy for me. Because I can be knitting on something and decide, do I want this for me or do I want this for my siblings? And you know what? I realized that I had not actually ever knit my grandmother or my sister Kelsey a pair of socks. I've knit my sister Kelsey lots of shawls because she loves things around her neck. She loves to wear my shawls, and I just love seeing her wear them. But she also deserves to have a pair of socks like my sister Amy has. Amy has at least 1 pair of socks by me. She's my older sister. And 2 shawls, maybe more. I'm not sure. But there you go. So not only do I have that done, but I have 1 more sock done. And this one, see, I didn't take a day off because I cast this on Monday. I feel so good. I finished an entire sock. So, and this is a big one. So I got to thinking this weekend. I was like, I want to knit a pair of socks for my sisters each. And my mother, obviously, and my grandmother. And then I thought, for Mother's Day, and then I thought, well, I love my sisters-in-law just as much as my blood sisters. They deserve it too. So, I put myself, maybe an impossible task, but I'm going to try it. I've decided to knit 2 more pairs of socks for, well, 3 total. 3 more pairs of socks. So that'll put me at okay, wait. 6 pairs in 2 months. So this is why you'll see mainly only this, really, honestly, in this episode. For everybody, for my mother and my other 2 sisters-in-law. So, with that in mind, I contacted my 2 of my brothers, and asked them to please let me know what size their wives wear in shoes, because I knew I could transpose that into sock size. And so my brother Eli, he wrote back to me and said, "Oh, Shannon's impossible to buy shoes for. Sometimes she's a 12 wide and sometimes she's a 10 wide." I'm like, what? What'd you say? So then I said, well, how am I supposed to knit socks for funky feet like that? And he said, well, just knit it for a 10 at wide, and that should be good, and he's right, because it will stretch out. So that's what I did, which is the size of my husband's foot, too. So that actually helped out, because I just had him compare it to his foot. So I picked up the Rose City rollers, which I'd been wanting to do for a while, and I knit Shannon. I found this yarn in my stash, and I remember buying it years and years and years ago back home in Alaska, Panda Wool. And it's from Crystal Palace Yarns. It's got 46% bamboo, 43% wool, and 11% nylon. And I'm thinking, that should be good for Shannon. So I picked it up, and oh my gosh, this was so fun to knit on. Got this all done this week. And I'm doing a contrasting in teal, which I believe is Tumbleweed Yarns. I can't find the tag. Whoops. But I believe it's Tumbleweed Yarns. So I did that. The only thing that, I did the Eye of Partridge heel, which I always mess up on. I'll even show you. See? See those columns? Yeah. But I don't care. I don't care. I think I finally figured it out. Let's see. If it's a puffy stitch, that was a slip stitch, so you want to knit that one. If it's a smaller, more tight stitch, you want to slip it, because that was a knit stitch. Is that right? I think that's what I figured out. I do this every time I knit these. Anyway, so the only thing that messed me up majorly was this second roll on the sock. There aren't very many people who have clear instructions. Actually, there's nobody who has clear instructions on Ravelry of how they accomplished the second roll. So I read a bunch of progress notes on Ravelry to try and figure out what in the heck I'm to do. So, and I did it wrong about 7 times in one evening. I think it was like Thursday evening. No, it wasn't. It was Wednesday evening. So if you want to knit the Rose City rollers, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to turn the sock once it's completed inside out, and I'll do that right now, okay? And this is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I'm not telling you how to do anything that she's actually written on. I'm telling you how to do this modification, and I'll even show you where I've messed up too. So you want to turn it inside out, and you want the top of the sock up. And you want to take your needle and pick up the purl bumps going down. Does that make sense? Because you want the fabric to be going upwards. Does that make sense? Man, I'm going to say, does that make sense? Does that make sense? A million times. So you need to pick up however many stitches you need around. So this sock has 64 stitches around, so I needed to pick up 64 stitches around of purl bumps. And you need to try and keep it as even as possible. So I continually had to pause because of the way the Rose City rollers roll. I could not sit there, and I was having difficulty counting down my rows. Every 2 bumps of purl stitches equals 1 row. And so I was having a hard time going down keeping a current count. So what I would do instead is I would pick up a series of like 5 or 6, and then I would pull back my yarn, my project, and look at it to determine, just eyeballing, whether or not I got it straight or not. And see, you can see here I went up a tiny bit, and I'll even show you here where I went down significantly. But I'm not. I pulled this out a million times, and I finally figured out that's the only way I can do it. And then one person wrote that they knit about 15 rows in the new color, and then they bound off. Let's see how many I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I knit 16, and that worked out perfectly. And then I just bound off as normal. And it's adorable! Look, it just rolls naturally. Ah, it's lovely. So maybe on the next sock that I do, I will record a tutorial of how to do that. And just keep in mind though, guys, that I'm a novice at this, so my tutorial is according to Emily style. So that's what I'll do. But I've got that done, and this, oh, this thing is huge. And I knit that in like 4 days. I had it done Thursday night. I bound off on Thursday night. Because Wednesday night was spent very frustratingly figuring this out. And I'm very happy. So happy, in fact. Oh, well, okay, hold on. Now we need to transition, guys, into the next segment. So 1 second. Okay, so what is in session? So why don't we just start with what we left off with, the Rose City Rollers. So I am on my second sock, and I am still knitting with my original skein, which, by the way, these skeins are tiny, so I was really nervous. These skeins have 170 yards in them, and I got I have no freaking idea how much is left in this, but okay, so I did the toe because I was nervous, and I just thought it would be pretty in the tumbleweed teal, just to make sure that I had enough, and I had plenty, because I'll tell you what I'm gonna do in just a minute. And so I've cast on with the rest of this skein, because I want to be economical and use up all the yarn. And so I've cast on with my #1 Knit Picks 16-inch 2 circs at 64 stitches, and I'm going to town. And I'm gonna get this pair done this weekend. And so the contrast is the teal, and I swear to you, this is Tumbleweed Yarns. If I ever find the tag, I'll let you know to confirm that, but I'm just gonna go on the assumption that it is. So this is what I'm gonna do. This is why I was a little nervous. So the first pair of socks is for my sister Shannon, and it's going to be the main color is in orange with the contrasting color in teal. And then I'm gonna switch it up, and for my sister-in-law Mary, the main color is going to be teal, and the accent color is going to be the orange. So that's why I wanted to make sure I had enough left over, and I'm gonna be fine. I got plenty of the orange, and I want some for my blanket, which I haven't knit on because I've been so engrossed in the sock knitting, and they've been so fun. I don't want to stop. Got to keep on going with when I feel in the mojo and the love. So that's what I am doing with that. So that's going to be another 2 pairs. So it's going to be 2 pairs of Rose City Rollers, and with the colors flipped, I guess is the word. And it's in my Rusted Stitch Studio. And yeah, I still have the tag on because I love the tag. So, and it says Merry Christmas. Merry early Christmas to me from Stephanie. I love it. Stephanie, when are you going to do that update? Not that I have money at the moment, but so then we talked about a certain person last episode who enabled me with yarn. They also constantly enable me with sock patterns because DM Brown, she is just an avid sock knitter just like me, but she doesn't just stick to plain sock knitting. She does have some plain sock knitting, but she goes out and she just does all these wonderful, wonderful designs, patterns. And there's one that I saw her do, and I just was like, that's it. I have to do that one. I've seen that one a couple times, so I have to. And luck would have it, I had it in my, or I do have it in my Ravelry Library. I think it might be a free pattern though. So there you go. It's called the Speckled Space Socks. And this designer specifically designed this for speckled yarn. Her name is Amanda B. Steffens. She calls this an intermediate pattern. I could see that, maybe. I'm just enjoying it so much. She wrote this very well. I'm very pleased with it. There's some things in here that I've never tried. Like, for instance, in socks, I've never thought to myself that a yarn over would be an appropriate increased stitch. And yet the way she has you do it in the pattern, it's perfect. There's no holes. And so I've been doing everything according to the pattern. Everything. And I'm not complaining at all. So I'm knitting this on Madeline Tosh in their the Care colorway. It's the Twist Light. The Care colorway is one they do, I think, every year. I think it might be a little different every year, but I'm not sure. And it's for Doctors Without Borders, and this is the tag that also comes with it. So all of the proceeds from this, minus obviously production costs and things, go directly to Doctors Without Borders. And I loved the colorway. I think it was last year. Pretty sure it was last year. So I picked it up, and I've just been waiting and waiting for the right pattern for it. And so, okay, how did I go about this? So Sunday night, I picked out a bunch of skeins from my stash and took pictures of them and sent them to my sister, Kelsey, and said, which one do you think would be most perfect for Mom? Her mom's favorite color is blue, so I thought Kelsey would have picked these nice, beautiful, rich blues that I had. But my husband was like, oh, you need to do this one for your mom. And then Kelsey was saying the same thing. Out of 6 skeins of yarn, Kelsey and my husband, and even I, all agreed this was the best one for my mom. And I'm so glad. Like, this is the most gorgeous skein of yarn. So this is, and I can't move the cord, so, well, maybe I can a little bit. So this is the colorway. It's got golds and blues and greens, differing between acid green and more olivey green, and pinks and purples and mauves, and oh, it's so beautiful! And then this is the stitch pattern on the front. Isn't that fun? And you know, the stitch pattern is actually really easy. It's very intuitive. I didn't really look at the stitch pattern after I got from about the 2nd or 3rd row in, and then until I got to the edge, so I could figure out what's going on here. And then once I figured that out, well, it was easy as pie, because I haven't looked at it for this entire one. I don't need to, honestly. I'm on my 3rd one up there. It's hard for you guys to see because I'm in the middle of turning the heel, and I wasn't able to work on this last night to finish the heel because of Watson, and I wanted to be there for my guy. So I'm in the middle of the heel. I think I'm just starting to turn it. I've done all the increases. I'm doing the 64 stitches around for my mom because while she's got shorter, she's got more of a size 8 to 7.5 size foot. Normally I knit her just as if I was knitting for me socks or my sisters, but this time I kind of wanted to knit specifically for her. And so she's got shorter feet, but due to all of her surgeries this past year, her feet are kind of a little bit swollen, so I didn't want to knit anything that would be tight on her foot. So I made sure and did 64 stitches around, and that seems huge to me, but it'll be great for Mom. It'll be nice and loose and hopefully comfortable. So I just want to point something else out that I have here. I've had this for a while, for about a year more, and it's a magnetic box on a snap bracelet, and then I've got a metal cable needle. I've always hated knitting cables. Hated it. Love it on this one. And it's all because of this. Because when I'm knitting cables normally, I'm sitting here, I'm knitting the cable, and then I pull out that, and I have to stick it in my tooth, and knit a couple more stitches, bring this out, stick it in, and all this kind of stuff. No, not this time. It's right there. Never have to worry about it. Pick it up, do the cable, I can just, see, I just threw it. And it's there. I don't have to think about it at all. So I wanted to really encourage you guys. I'm not getting paid for this at all. Hold on a second. I have to go around. I'm limping today. The weather is causing my bad leg to hurt a lot, so you guys probably don't even see me limping at all. So this is the Knitter's Keep by Coco Knits. And it comes with all kinds of things. I won't go into it, but it comes with stitch markers, needles. It comes with a bag, which I haven't used yet because I've just really loved this. It comes with, oh, there we go. Magnetic silicone slat bracelet, 10 small stitch markers, 10 large stitch markers, 10 opening stitch markers, 2 bent tip tapestry needles, 2 curved cable needles, and 100% cotton bag. The curved needle is the cabling needle. I love this thing. This is the first project I thought about it. And I'm finally using it on this. It's perfect. I wish I'd been using it before, but honestly, really, I don't know that I would use it for any other project other than my cabling, because, or maybe lace that I'm maybe having to move stitch markers a lot on. That might become quite in handy. So there you go. So those are the 2 projects that I'm currently working on. I would show you my Find My Fade, but really, honestly, I haven't done any progress on it at all since we last talked, because I have been so engrossed in my sock knitting. And honestly, I don't foresee myself knitting on that until my socks are done. I don't really foresee myself knitting on anything else except for my socks until they are done. So there you go, there's that. All right, so our last one is in session. So what have I been buying? Simply Stashless, Karen, let me know that Craftsy was having a buy one get one, and that everything was on sale on Craftsy. So she got bread making ones, I believe, and I went on there and I got, and they were, all the classes were on sale, and then you got the second one free as well with the coupon code. So I got myself a English paper piecing class, which I've wanted to do forever because my sister does it, and I've always loved what she does with that. And then I also got myself a Fair Isle knitting class. I thought I got myself the something else, but apparently I didn't. So with that, I kind of got myself on Amazon, I got myself some, well, okay, so this one I had in stash. This was a charm pack that I've had in stash. They're all different roses and flowers. Well, just really roses, I believe, and these beautiful different colors. I love that first one. So I've had this one for a while. I don't know who it's by, but they've stayed intact. And I was going to do a wall hanging with these and just sew the squares together, and I still might, because getting it out again, I'm like, oh, I love you. But I also got, so for $3 off of Amazon, I got these, this really, really small charm pack. All the same color, but different little shapes. And, and all these different polka dot colored, ooh, they really stick together. Polka dot, different colored fat squares. And I think this was like $4. So that I got on Amazon. Then I got some paper piecing, different shapes. So I got some hexagons, which I believe are too big to work with this class. I think she wants them that are a lot smaller, and I can't seem to find them on Amazon. But I did find the squares and the diamonds. And then at Joann's, I was able to find, it doesn't have the, this is the hexagon. It doesn't have the size on here, but I'm hoping this is the 1-inch size that I can use. It's not the 1 inch, is it? That I can use for the class. On top of that, I got the glue stick and the fabric marker, a special type of needle for paper piecing, and a specific type of thread. I got it in gold. So Superior Threads, bottom line 60 weight. So that's a lot. I think I spent total $25, which right now is a lot for me because I'm trying not to spend any money because we're hoping my husband might have a new job soon, and so we're trying to not spend any money. But, and to tell you the truth, now that I bought them, I'm a little worried that I'm not going to get to them anytime soon because I'm so concentrated on my knitting projects. So I feel like I wasted money, which I sometimes do. But, c'est la vie. I have them for when I will start. And I'm just going to tell myself that. And try not to beat myself up. So guys, that's our podcast for the week. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope that this format works. I really enjoyed doing the bullet journaling style. I feel like that really helped me out this week. I'm going to continue that portion definitely. And we'll see how things go with the rest of it. So, yeah, let me know if anybody else is bullet journaling. Let me know how that's going for you, and if you have any specific like videos or techniques that you want to encourage us to use, go ahead and let me know. Oh my gosh, guess what? I totally forgot to tell you what I'm wearing this week. This is my first hand knit sweater for me that I ever did. I did this years ago, and it's way too big. I never wear it outside the house. It's huge. See, I even have those rolled up. And I never put on buttons. I have the buttonholes on the other side. Do I? Oh, yes, see, right there. I have the buttonholes, but I never put on the buttons. I am so weird. But that's what I'm wearing this week. I don't know. Do I have this up on Ravelry? I don't know. It's really hot. I was cold when I started, but I'm getting hotter. Oh, it started to rain. Bird, oh no, what did they say? Squirrel, squirrel. So that's about it, guys. So please like the video, comment below. I love hearing from you guys. Just so you know, we're stuck at 99 subscribers. One more subscriber and we can do our 100 subscriber giveaway. So we're almost there. But thank you all for joining me. Have a wonderful week. Knit what you love what you knit, and enjoy life. Take care, guys. Bye.